Today on the season premiere of Dr. Phil.
I'm not staying alive for me. For me, if it was me, I'd be gone. Straight away back to my mom.
Are you mentally ill?
Sinead O'Connor.
I became very suicidal. I was a basket case.
When you were 21, you had the #1 song in the world.
But I also felt like an imposter.
Why? When you tore the Pope's picture up on Saturday Night Live, whose picture were you tearing up?
I'm changing my name. Sinead O'Connor's gone. That person's gone.
Will you do an experiment with me?
Is it gonna make me cry?
All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard.
What do you love about your mother?
But I love her. Like my mother, Dad, she's dead.
All died when you went away.
You say she abused you physically and sexually. Tell me what happened.
Where do I start?
At the beginning.
I know that living with your baby was sometimes hard.
She ran a torture chamber. She was a person who took delight in hurting you.
Nothing compares.
3 weeks ago, I wrote my suicide note.
You tried to kill yourself 8 times in 1 year. Do you want to be dead?
Nothing compares to you.
Now, from Nashville, Tennessee, here's Dr. Phil.
Today marks the first day of the 16th season of Dr. Phil. Back in the very beginning, almost 3,000 episodes ago, I pledged to use this platform to focus on the hidden epidemics in America and strive to give a voice to those who struggle to be heard. We begin this year with an interview that I think addresses both. Sinead O'Connor shot to fame with her haunting rendition of Prince's song, Nothing Compares to You.
Sinead O'Connor is the rock star who is, of course, as famous for her look as her songs.
She has served notice that this is no ordinary talent. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Sinead O'Connor.
When singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor burst onto the music scene in the late 80s, we had never heard or seen anybody like her.
While she sings sweetly and speaks softly, her actions have made headlines.
She became notorious around the world when she tore up a photo of beloved Pope John Paul II on Saturday Night Live.
Fight the real enemy.
Please join me now in welcoming Sinead O'Connor. Sinead!
Sinead was a superstar with a Grammy-winning, multi-platinum album. Critics said that the then 23-year-old singer was poised to become one of the most influential figures of her generation.
Recently, fans were stunned to see the songstress had fallen on desperate times when she posted a troubling cry for help video.
An alarming Facebook video of singer Sinead O'Connor is gaining views and some growing concerns.
I'm now living in a Travelodge motel. I'm going to find kidney stone. I'm all by myself. And there's absolutely nobody in my life except my doctor. The mental illness, you know, it's a bit like drugs. It doesn't give a shit who you are.
Sinead O'Connor, alone, distraught, and having what appears to be a complete mental breakdown.
Like so many compassionate and caring fans, we expressed our concern and willingness to help. Sinead learned she was on our radar and took the initiative to call me at my office at Paramount Studios, along with her manager and a representative from the Jazz Foundation, a musician support organization. What we're going to try and do is get a transporter. We will get you to Nashville, Tennessee, to the Milestones program. You got all these people in your life. You're not alone anymore. Now, Sinead, a longtime fan of our work, asked for my help, despite questioning whether she felt like she really deserved the focus and energy. We offered to work with Sinead privately, but she was insistent that her goal was to destigmatize mental illness. She said she did not want to live in the shadows anymore and wanted to use her struggle with mental illness to inspire others to reach out for help. She wanted to be an example and a voice of hope.
Very excited to be going to get some proper help. Oh God, I'm so grateful to Dr. Phil for helping me.
I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I feel like a Cinderella.
We were able to arrange for Sinead to leave New Jersey and be transported by a team of professionals to the beautiful and tranquil Milestones at On-Site Treatment Center, located on 100 acres of rolling hills in Tennessee. This is her story. I really sincerely want to help you.
Thank you.
You are a very important teaching tool because you are absolutely inspirational to millions of others that are struggling with what you're struggling with. And for you to have the courage to candidly and openly talk about this gives others the courage to come forward and seek the help they need.
Right.
And so...
Well, I'm hoping we can save some lives.
Well, you're using your life to do exactly that.
There's a certain group of people who are absolutely afraid to open their mouth about mental illness, and that is rockers, people in the music business, famous people. I think it's important that those of us that are in the entertainment industry, actually do begin to open up.
You posted a video on Facebook a few weeks ago that had a lot of people concerned about your well-being. I can't tell you how many messages we got from people. I always love hearing Dr. Phil say, "I'm not going to give up on you." Can he do anything for Sinead O'Connor? As everyone has seemed to have given up on her, I know he will not. Please help this woman.
Aww.
Then here's another one. Dr. Phil, I saw this most heart-wrenching video cry from singer Sinead O'Connor on the Daily Mail feed. Then here's another one. Dear Dr. Phil, I just saw Sinead O'Connor's heartbreaking but powerful video. It moved me. I so hope you could help her out.
Aww.
I mean, I've got pages and pages
I'm
of these.
actually just really moved by that.
Look at these just...
That is just so lovely. I'm so moved. I have to say thank you to all of those people. Thank you so much.
You know, I have millions of viewers, and they watch for a reason, and they know that I take this seriously, and they took you seriously.
I can't but tell you how moved I am. I can't find the words for once in my life. Dr. Phil and these people are the first people to ever manage to shut Sinead O'Connor up.
Well, I have to tell you, in all seriousness, I'm really sorry it took me this long to find you.
I'm not, because I'm so happy that you did. This is the time that God decided you were supposed to find me.
I mean, that's why all these people are writing in saying, you know, please help this woman.
Isn't it funny how God works in very mysterious ways? Because this all kicked off, this few years of nightmare started with a kidney stone. But now I'm glad, because if not for the kidney stone, I wouldn't have had the pity party that made me make the video. And we wouldn't be sitting here now, you know?
I want to play a little bit of that video and ask you to comment on it.
I just can't understand how a person can be left so alone, and I want everyone to see what it's like. It's why I'm making this video. All the people who are supposed to be loving you and taking care of you are treating you like
Who are the people that won't take care of you? Are you talking about your family?
Yeah, now obviously I want to be really clever, because like I love my family and I don't blame them. It's not easy for families of mentally ill people. We can be difficult. What happened was I had been writing to my family, begging letters, you know, and angry letters and raging. And I don't want to make out like I'm a victim here. I give it as good as I get. I was an ass to my family. I thought it would be better, maybe my family might, if they saw how I'm feeling, they would relate to it.
You don't even care.
I hoped in my kidney stone madness that my family would see it and go, oh my God, we didn't realise it's that bad. We'll go get her. Do you know
Did they
what I mean?
watch?
No.
How do you know?
One of them told me. Yeah. I rang one of the fathers of my children, who happened to be 5 miles away from me in New York at the time, and had my 10-year-old child and didn't bring him to see me.
Are you mentally ill?
I don't believe I am, no. Unless you say that complex post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental illness. I've had one psychiatrist told me I'm the sanest person he's ever met, which of course everyone laughs at when I say that. Musicians are always a little on the edge. We're somewhere out there. Also, I'm a child abuse survivor, very severe child abuse survivor, so, you know, I'm a little out there. I'm unusual, irregular, eccentric. What kicked all of this off really was that I had a hysterectomy, a radical hysterectomy in Ireland 2 years ago, and I lost my mind after that. And that's, I think, what happened with my family, and we have to give my family credit, and you know, they're not here to speak for themselves, so I don't want to disrespect them, but the fact is, they didn't know who the hell I was. I was told to leave the hospital 2 days after the surgery with Tylenol and no hormone replacement. and no guidance as to what might happen to me. I was flung into surgical menopause. So hormones were everywhere. I became very suicidal. I was a basket case. So yeah, I would say that after the hysterectomy, I was mental.
When we talked on the phone, you told me that you tried to kill yourself 8 times.
I know, I counted up the times in my life that I've tried to.
In 1 year. Why?
Because they left me. They left me and they wouldn't let me see my child. His father, who never bothered with the child, snuck him into foster care behind my back while I was in hospital trying to recover from being bonkers.
And so off he goes into foster
my
care.
My family, they all left the child there for 6 months. Of course, I lost the plot, raging, angry. And anger was part of the suicidal feeling, and also was the grief and unfairness, and I can't get hurt unless I'm dead in front of them, blah, 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 you know. But that's what it was really about. That's what made me lose my absolute mind, was that they kept me from my most vulnerable child. Also, in some of my abuse as a child, my mother quite regularly was attempting to destroy my reproductive system. So the surgery was very triggering.
You say your mother abused you physically and sexually. And this is really important to me. Tell me what happened. What did she do?
Coming up.
Where do I start?
At the beginning.
She ran a torture chamber. She was a person who took delight in hurting you. She used to make me say over and over, I'm nothing, while she was beating me. I think it's very important I tell you, my mother is not the only person I've been raped by.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. A daughter's suicide.
You believe her boyfriend knew she was going to kill herself.
And 2 parents.
I love Samantha more than anyone I have ever met.
You didn't go to the funeral?
No, I had a licensure exam that day.
Struggling with grief.
Her clothes, Jonathan. Why can we not have our daughter's clothes?
I told you, they were outside. You could come get them.
That's tomorrow.
I know that living with your baby was sometimes hard.
We now return to Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Sinead O'Connor.
You say your mother abused you physically and sexually. And this is really important to me. Tell me what happened.
She was not well. She was really very, very, very not well. I would say she was possessed, although I'm not sure I believe in such things. Mm-hmm. So either she was just a sadist and a pedophile, or she was possessed by the devil.
Well, let me work backwards here. When you were 8, your parents divorced after a really troubled relationship. And
well, there was no divorce in Ireland. They separated. And then what happened was, when the day my father left, we were very upset. My father had built us a shed in the garden, a hut to play in. My mother was so angry at us for being upset that he left that she said, right, if you love him that much, you can live in the shed. So from the day he left, we were living in the garden for months.
Well, when you mean garden, you mean the yard?
The backyard.
The backyard?
Yeah. It would not be fair for me to discuss anything that she did to my siblings, so I have to only discuss what she did to me. Okay. But she ran a torture chamber. It was a torture chamber. She was a person who took delight, would smile in hurting you.
What did she do?
Where do I start?
At the beginning.
My earliest memory, she's telling me that I shouldn't have been born. She didn't want me. She didn't want girls. She wants me to be a boy. She dresses me like a boy. She chops my hair off. Whenever she beats me, which is daily, I'm naked. She makes me take my clothes off. I have to lie on the floor. I have to open my arms and legs. I have to let her attack my abdomen. She wants to burst my womb. She wants to destroy my reproductive. She wants to stop me being a female.
She did this to you for how long a period of time?
From 0 to 13. Thing? So she basically, it would be sweeping brushes, she'd be stamping on me with her feet. The phone would ring in the middle of it and she'd be like, oh, hi, how are you? Her foot would be on my naked on the floor. I'm 3, 4, 5 years of age. Kindergarten, I win the prize for curling up in the smallest ball. I remember being about 5 or so, we were meant to go somewhere for the weekend. She made me put on a dress that used to belong to my sister and the button was missing. She beats the out of me because the button is missing off the dress, takes the dress, takes the light bulb out of my room, locks me in my room, and then everybody leaves for the weekend. She's the type of person, she'd make you get every Bible in the house and every hockey stick. We used to be terrified. The last day of school in summer was the most unhappy day of our lives. All the other kids would be delighted. We'd be hiding the hockey sticks and the tennis racks and crying because we're stuck with her for the summer. She would invent reasons to beat you up. Like, she'd say the lampshade is crooked. My job was to clean the house. So if I left the lampshade a bit crooked after I dusted it, she'd beat the out of me. Daily this went on. The only thing you'd be sure of every day is you're going to get the kicked out of you when you hear the steps of her waking up. Literally, me and my brother used to pee our pants.
How long did this go on?
Till I was 13, I ran away. She used to make me say over and over, "I am nothing, I am nothing," while she was beating me.
I am nothing?
I'm nothing, I'm nothing. As a very small child. After a while, you begin to believe it. In fact, you are nothing.
For 38 years, these wounds have been festering within you, and you've never had trauma treatment for this until right now.
This was my treatment.
I understand.
Music. I think it's very important I tell you that my mother is not the only person I've been raped by. I've been raped several times by other people as a child.
And how old are we talking about?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
This was an ongoing part of your life?
Strangers in Ireland, yeah.
Who was protecting you?
Social services didn't exist. I mean, I had my mother put in hospital at 13 for 3 entire months, which is why I had the courage to leave, because I had 3 months freedom. My first single is a song called Troy. It talks all about, I remember at Dublin in a rainstorm, sitting in the long grass in summer, keeping warm. It keeps talking about the garden. There's constant references even in my songs. If you listen to my albums from time, you know, immemorial, like they're diaries of a person in recovery from child abuse. From song one, single one, is telling you what happened. And the reason I've done that is because I knew if I didn't tell and I didn't become well known, no one would ever have known we existed. What happened to us in that house, there should be a monument to it.
There was a point at which she stopped abusing you, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to her about it?
Coming up.
There's a reason for everything I do, and this has to do with your mother. Will you do an experiment with me?
Is it going to make me cry?
Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Sinead O'Connor continues.
Did you grow up in a house of horrors?
Bear in mind, this is what happened in Ireland to Ireland's children.
Sinead, this is not normal. This was not no.
The priests were teaching it to the people.
Priests were not teaching mothers to go home and stomp the ovaries out of their children. I mean, you're a child. A child doesn't deserve that. You say your mother abused you physically and sexually. There was a point at which she stopped abusing you, right?
Yeah. So what happened was she says there's some spoons missing from the drawer. She's going to beat me up if I don't find them. And I run out to the garage and I just keep running. And I go to my father. Then, you know, I didn't get on with my father at all. He sent me away to one of these Magdalene laundries. He paid them to take me.
This was like a group home.
Magdalene laundry, they're notorious.
Yeah.
And I used to run away from the place. Interestingly, the nun there bought me my first guitar. They're the ones that spotted, okay, the only way we're going to save this music, you know. Anyway, I go there and I'm running away from there all the time to my mother, to go stay with my mother. I guess I got to be the same size as her. She stopped hitting me, you know. So we developed a very good relationship between the age of 14 and 16 and a half. We had a great relationship because she was blown away that I forgave her.
Did you ever talk to her about it?
One day I did ask her, why did you do what you did to us? And she said, I never did anything, what are you talking about? And I was furious with her, raging with her, that I didn't talk to her for about 9 months. Next thing I hear, she's dead in a car crash.
Did you have unfinished emotional business with her when she died?
Well, the whole family did. Nothing could ever be fixed again and will never be fixed again. He's very kind of God to take her. Her life was hell. You wouldn't want to be her, you know? So I was relieved for her, relieved for me, but devastated at the loss of her. She was my best friend.
There's a reason for everything I do, and this has to do with your mother. Will you do an experiment with me?
Is it going to make me cry?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking for the exit.
You don't need to run. The first thing I want you to do with your eyes closed is I want you to picture your mother's face. And when I say picture your mother, I mean I want you to see her face, negative or positive, doesn't matter. See her eyes, see her skin, the way her hair fell over her forehead. I want you to experience the scent that identified your mother, the sound of her footfall when you hear her walking, the tilt of her head, everything that defined your mother. Now, I want you to answer this question. what I resent about my mother.
She kicked the out of me.
Go on.
She won't change her clothes. She won't wash. Same for us. 5 years living in the same clothes, no washing. She won't heat the house. She won't get lights. She won't get out of bed. She won't stop taking drugs. She never tells me I'm pretty. She never tells me I'm sweet. She makes my little brother scream. She smells sick. There was a smell about her that was sickness. Smell of evil, you know.
And how did she hurt you? How did she hurt you inside?
Kicking me, kicking me, and kicking me, and kicking me, and kicking me. And telling me I'm evil, and telling me I shouldn't have been born, and I'm the reason my father left. It's my fault.
All right, change of question. What I wanted from my mother, I did not get.
Cuddles, love, kisses, sweet names, snuggles, sleep in the bed with her, sweet presents.
Tell me what I miss about my mother.
I hate not being able to love her. I hate not being able to have taken care of her, maybe given her some love back, help her. Nobody helped her. I miss her. I cannot put my arms around her and tell her I love her and that she's all right and actually, you know, mother her. I wanted to mother her. I would have taken care of her even if she was an absolute monster.
Without even thinking, what do you love about your mother?
The first thing that came to my mind actually is that she's dead, which is a very strange thing to come to mind, but I love about my mother that she's dead. I think it was very kind of her. Although I miss her horribly, I really ache for her, and I think that's part of where my suicidal instinct comes from, is that I want my mother. But I cannot wait until the day that I naturally get to heaven so that I can see my mother again.
Okay, do this for me. Close your eyes one more time. If you sat before your mother right now and you had 1 minute left in this world, what would you say to your mother?
I'd throw myself on her like a monkey and I'd never let go. I'd tell her, I love you, I missed you so bad, I missed you so bad. My life has been terrible, 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 terrible. I miss her so bad. Yeah. I can't wait to see her again. I'd tell her I love her.
Would she hurt for you? Would she feel your pain?
That I miss her? Yeah, I like to believe, and I do believe, that me forgiving her and loving her has helped her in terms of her karmic payback after death. To be in each other's arms, that's what me and her want, really. Do you know what I mean? To be in each other's arms would make both of us so happy, you know?
Do you think, with the clarity of where she is, she knows what she did to you?
Coming up.
When you were 21, you had the #1 song in the world.
But I also felt like an imposter.
How so?
All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard.
Do you think your mother, with the clarity of where she is, she knows what she did to you?
Yeah, but she knows that it's okay, because I forgive her. I'd try to get my sister to forgive her. She said, no, I can't. And I had a nightmare about it that night. And I said to my mother, are you not upset that my sister can't forgive you? My mother said, I do not want what I haven't got. And that's why I called the album that. And when I cried in that video, it was my mother I was thinking about.
All the flowers that you planted, Mama, in the backyard.
One tear falls down my face in the video. But she's relieved to have my love and my forgiveness, you know?
You said she cut your hair off.
Yeah.
Why do you keep your hair shaved?
When we were children, my sister had the most beautiful red hair, glorious red hair, the type you'd be jealous of, like just beautiful. You know, like that gorgeous woman on that show, Mad Men. You know, that woman that just like Jessica Rabbit looking, you know. But my mother took it into her head that my sister's hair was ugly and horrible and disgusting. And she started, when I had long hair, she would introduce us as her pretty daughter and her ugly daughter. And that's why I chopped my hair off. I didn't want to be pretty. It was dangerous to be pretty too, because I kept getting raped and molested everywhere I went.
Have you ever told anybody that's why you keep your hair cut short?
A couple of my friends, you know. But that was a huge part of it. I didn't want to be raped. I didn't want to be molested. I did not want to dress like a girl. I did not want to be pretty. You know, other girls beat you up if you're pretty too. The other reason was in the music business. I was asked one day by my record company, would I grow my hair long and wear short skirts because they wanted to sell me on my sexuality. And I was like, I didn't want to be sold on that. I wanted, if it was going to be successful, I wanted to be because I was a good musician. So I said, no, it's got to be about how I sound and not how I look. Plus, I was a protest singer. I came from an age of protest singers. The artists I was influenced by, etc., they weren't the type that were selling themselves on how they looked.
When you were 21, you had the #1 song in the world. Did you feel like you had the #1 song in the world?
Yeah. But I also felt like an imposter.
How so?
Well, I knew, because of my own song, I couldn't understand why people like my songs, the songs I wrote. That was a Prince song, so of course I thought, well, that's great, it's a Prince song, of course everybody loves it. But I felt like the imposter that people loved the album. That's what was shocking to me. So I'd be doing the gigs and I'd be singing my songs and the people would go mental and I'd be thinking, why are they all going mental? And I'm just a complete and then I'm on like David Letterman or I'm on Jay Leno or I'm like, I'm an imposter, what am I doing here? Why are these people? I felt like an imposter, which a lot of musicians feel. A lot of musicians tell you the same thing. As soon as you get off stage, you're just the like you normally are, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a country boy from Texas.
Yeah, and I'm just a crazy bitch from Dublin, you know.
When you tore the Pope's picture up on Saturday Night Live, whose picture were you tearing up?
The Pope's.
I mean, what did the Pope represent to you?
Coming up.
I actually became a singer because I thought it was so evil that I was going to go to hell, and I wanted to sing so that I might have a chance of getting into heaven.
Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Sinead O'Connor continues.
When you tore the Pope's picture up on Saturday Night Live, whose picture were you tearing up?
The Pope's.
I mean, what did the Pope represent to you?
Interestingly, what people don't know is that, first of all, we in Ireland knew 10 years before you all did about child abuse within the Catholic Church. We had evidence. The photo itself had been on my mother's bedroom wall all my life. I was genuinely very angry with what the church were doing. By ripping that picture, you know, I risked my career, everything. I could be a billionaire now if I wanted, if I believed in that, you know what I mean? But I don't. But I know what you're getting at, and yes, this didn't occur to me until about 6 months ago. It's my father.
Did you know you were going to do it when you went on?
Mm-hmm. So I had planned it for a couple of weeks. At the very end, I pull out the picture of the Pope and tear it up. Silence.
Threw it at the camera.
Silence. Everywhere. It was fantastic.
So what happened afterwards?
My manager vanished for about 3 days. He went to his hotel, just unplugged the phone. About 10 years after that I don't remember, because that's when it became acceptable and it became the norm that I was treated by everyone I knew, from family to everyone, like I was an absolutely insane, crazy person.
Here's the thing. I look at things from the standpoint of why people do what they do and don't do what they don't do. We've got a situation where you've gone through horrific sexual abuse, physical abuse. You've gone through serious abandonment. This leaves really scars on people. And to me, when I talk about psychological scars, it's the same as if you had a scar on your arm.
Oh, I have a few on my body from me, Mummy. Nice memories.
You then have a hysterectomy. For some women, your hormones can change dramatically and you can become very depressed. Then we have to understand that a part of your sexual abuse is your mother stomping on your reproductive system. Now here they come at age 49 and somebody says, okay, we are taking your reproductive system. It's not a real stretch to think that that triggers,
of course.
Okay, here we go. My mother, she's getting her way. Then your child is now
my most vulnerable
gone, and you don't know where. So I start asking myself, not why you're reacting the way you are, but why not?
Exactly. Can I high-five you?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Okay, so now...
That's what I've been screaming at, but no one can hear me. And you know why? It's because I'm Sinead O'Connor, the artist who ripped up the picture of the Pope.
I told you on the phone, I said, you're not alone anymore. And I meant that.
A million people have said that to me, and you're the only person that had ever said it that I believed it. And you know why I believed it?
Why?
Is because you kind of kicked my ass as well.
Yeah.
It made me trust you.
Did you feel that you were left to die alone?
Coming up.
Tell me about this guitar.
When I took an overdose about 3 weeks ago, I wrote my suicide note on it. Sinead O'Connor's gone. That person's gone.
Why?
Dr. Phil's exclusive interview with Sinead O'Connor continues.
Did you feel that you were left to die alone?
Yeah, I was left to die alone. I mean, my family principally, really, the final reason that they buggered off on me was because I was suicidal, because I made a suicide attempt.
You're not a horrible, evil person.
Okay. I actually became a singer because I thought I was so evil that I was going to go to hell, and I wanted to sing so that I might have a chance of getting into heaven.
You didn't respond to what I said.
That I'm not a horrible, evil person. Yeah, I know. Well, it's very nice of you to tell me that. Thank you very much. I am beginning to believe it. I am beginning to understand that. I am. It helps that you're confirming what I thought, which is that, you know, why wouldn't I have lost my flipping mind here? Listen, I made you a present. I've got to show you what it is. We had to draw a picture of what our life would look like if it was exactly what we wanted. And I'll explain it.
All right.
Okay. For some reason, I have an enormous attachment to the American military, and I want to work with the dying veterans, specifically as a sitter.
That's terrific, and it's very forward-looking. You have to sign it for me.
My new name.
Okay, and what is it?
Magda David. Sinead O'Connor's gone. That person's gone.
Why?
Because I don't want to be that person anymore.
Are you going to record as Magda Devitt, the artist formerly known as Sinead O'Connor?
Yeah, for the first album, I'll have to say that. I will have to do like Prince did, yeah.
Do you think it will be hard to resurrect your singing career after being away for a period of time?
No. My career is in live performance. That's what I'm born for. I am a very, very, very brilliant live performer, and I love it.
I told David Foster that I was going to talk with you, and that you said one of the things you wanted to do was get back to your music. And I said, if she wants to, will you work with her and do songs?
You're kidding me. You're joking, right? You're kidding me, right? This is just, like, unbelievable. Like, I'm Cinderella here. This is crazy, because the whole thing, since you got in touch, I'm like Cinderella.
I asked him if he would work with you, produce a song, write with you, and this was his response.
Oh, my God.
Of course, 100%. Whatever you need from me, I am there for an hour, a day, or a week. She's a major talent. I was just talking about her the other day.
Oh, my God. Because, you know what? I think we're doing so much good to start making some bloody music. I haven't been working for 2 years.
Well, that's why I was saying I've been working on this from every angle. Tell me about this guitar.
I wrote my first 2 albums on a 12-string guitar. So I bought this beautiful Gretsch guitar on Amazon. And when I took an overdose about 3 weeks ago, I wrote my suicide note on it, which I don't know if you want to see.
It says, "Forgive me, I just could go no further. Hashtag one of millions."
After I put the video on Facebook, a beautiful Irishman calls me, who I happened to have bumped into 20 years ago in Ireland one day. He lives in Jersey. He says, "I know these people at Jazz Foundation. They work at Englewood Hospital. I'm going to bring you there. They're going to help you out." Next thing I meet Wendy, and they saved my life. They literally bring me bra, clothes, shoes, everything. I have nothing. The Jazz Foundation are incredible people, and we do have a crisis in rock and roll at the moment of suicides.
The whole purpose was to bring this to the attention of other people to help them avoid committing suicide.
Well, that's the thing. She's using her life, but that's the time to use it. She's a great teaching tool, and she has all of this stretched out ahead of her.
And the musicians are the healers.
So I would like to be able, if you would allow me, to read the list of the names of all of the rock and roll suicides that have happened since rock and roll began.
Of course.
Okay, here we go. Graham Bond, Pete Ham, Phil Oakes, Tom Evans, Del Shannon, Richard Manuel, Danny Gatton, Brad Delp, Vince Welnick, Ronnie Montrose, Bob Welsh, Keith Emerson, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Kurt Cobain, obviously. I include Amy Winehouse, I include any artist who died from drugs in the music business. That is a suicidal behaviour. Whitney Houston, for her daughter as well, God help her. Well, I know there are hundreds more. There are hundreds more. But I want to include it in there, everybody that died of drugs or drink.
Will you play it?
But yeah, I will sing you a song, but I'd love to, yeah.
When we come back, you'll get a chance to hear Sinead sing. Her voice is just as pure as when she released Nothing Compares to You. But first, take a look at some of the other great shows we're working on this season. We're starting season 16. Can you believe it?
You bring heroin into my home?
You gave up on me. You told me I wish you were dead.
Where did these come from?
Never in my life have I been physical with anybody.
Your son was a part of my family.
My son has never been a part of your family.
I'm a really good drunk driver. She was arrested in her car with no pants on.
You seriously believe you're not an alcoholic?
What about our wedding day?
You need to learn how to close your mouth.
You need to get yourself under control. Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a fourth-degree felony.
You're just a loser, Paul.
You're a verbally abusive dictator. You're the failure of a parent. You're the failure of a parent.
You have no job. You are living in the car.
I have 2 vehicles.
Does the other one have a windshield?
Who do you think you're talking to? I am your father.
Your daughter, we know, is violent and physical.
Shut the f*** up!
And you want to get up in her face and say, what are you doing?
I hate myself so much. There are times where I just want to die. But if I kill myself, I know my family would be so hurt. So that's why I just hurt myself. So they wouldn't have to pay for a funeral.
My stepdad is guilty of molesting me and my sisters.
These women have lied to put me in jail.
You know what you did.
I didn't do what you said I did.
Oh, yes, you did. I am not a liar. I am a strong, powerful woman despite all the crap that you did to me.
You say nobody listens to you, nobody gets it, nobody understands. Look me in the eye. I do. I've often said when guests are on Dr. Phil that it's the beginning rather the end of their relationship with us. As of today, Sinead is beginning her 5th week of intensive work, and she has made unbelievable strides. Now, it has not and will not be a success-only journey. She has had some rough patches, bucked and been critical of programs and protocols at the treatment center one night, only to apologize, say she had made more progress there than anywhere else in her life, and beg to be readmitted the following day. I think what we've done today with everything that we've talked about is really kind of a to-do list for all the team here to say, okay, here's some stuff where they can take that and use that as a guide. You know, the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior. You know, as soon as you create a week, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then those 3 weeks predict the next 3 weeks, and then pretty soon you have momentum in a healthy direction, and you're finding meaning and creating value and creating relationships.
You're an angel. I love you.
Love you, girl. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, that was just the greatest day ever. Really brilliant. Thank you so much. Really, I'll never forget it.
Sinead recently progressed to the point where she was no longer resistant to or threatened by certain psychiatric modalities that her milestones at on-site team felt she needed. As a result, we were able to make arrangements for her to be temporarily moved to a psychiatric inpatient facility where intensive diagnostics, including blood chemistries, brain scans, hormonal profiling, and advanced psychometrics, will inform a customized psychiatric treatment protocol. Creative Care is an inpatient treatment facility that's been in business since 1989. It is one of the most serene, beautiful places that you can go. It is staffed with some of the top mental health professionals in the world for really getting people to work through and get down to the core of what's going on with them. Now, once they're there, we step back and let them do their thing. That's for them, not for us. But suffice it to say, Sinead feels like she is no longer alone and that she is now getting more support, care, and love than she has had in the last 20 years.
I know that living with you, baby, was sometimes hard, but I'm willing to give it another try. Oh, nothing compares to you.
Sinead's goal is clearly to continue to get healthy so she can rebuild key relationships in her life and help others in need, specifically other struggling musicians, as well as our underserved veterans. Sinead seems committed to reclaiming her life and using her considerable heart and talent to touch the lives of others. At this point, she has the resources. The rest is up to her. For more information, go to drphil.com. Thanks for watching.